Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Friday evening, early evening episode of Ted's Booze Cellar with me, your most gracious host, Ted. Now, it is currently 6 on the 19th of June 2020, and today we're taking a look at a drink that I have reviewed before, but we're taking a look at a version of it that I haven't reviewed before. And the version of the drink in question, or the drink itself in question, that we are talking about today is our good old favourite Harvey's Brewery Sussex Best Bitter. Now, I've said before on record that this is my favourite bitter, but if you guys have been watching this show for a long time, you will remember that I've only ever reviewed the draft version at Falmer Bar and also the canned version. Now, I got this, the bottled version, from the wine barrel on Western Road in Hove, our old buddies there, and it was actually when I went in there that I found out that there is actually a bottled version of this, so I was quite excited to find that out, and yeah, I thought I might as well do a review of it at one point, so here we are. And so yeah, now we're rounding out the trilogy of the different versions of Harvey's Brewery Sussex Best Bitter. I think this is actually the first time I reviewed all three versions of like the same beer. I think I may have done it with possibly Kronenberg or Heineken already, but I'm not quite sure. I'm probably not, but I'm pretty sure this is the first like standard like mass-produced beer of sorts that I've reviewed the draft, the canned, and now the bottled version of. So that's a first, and I'm looking forward to good things for this because, if you guys will again remember my previous episodes, I gave the draft version of this a 10 out of 10, and I gave the canned version a 7.5 out of 10, which, not as good, but still really respectable. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I really like the contrast of colours of, like, sky cute blue with, you know, the gold writing, white writing, and contrasted against the gold sketching of the old Harvey's Brewery. So yeah, I've still got to visit this place. It's in Lewes, which is just north of Brighton, so yeah, definitely want to visit that at some point when the lockdown is over. But anyway, before we begin, just a quick palate cleanser of water, and I'll give the design of the bottle and label a 7 out of 10. It's not amazingly great, but it is definitely handsome enough. I'll give it that. Now, this half a litre bottle was $3.29 from the wine barrel, and I think that's probably about a right price for a drink bottle this size. Now let's smell it, because it might smell a bit different considering it's stored in a glass bottle rather than a can or a keg. Yeah, same usual smell as the previous two versions. It's got that sort of traditional British sort of mellow, musky, bitter smell, but it's slightly more downplayed here. There's also like a slight sort of like earthiness to the smell, which I do find quite nice and interesting. So I'll give the smell an 8.5 out of 10. Very, very pleasant. But, as always, we won't know what it's actually like until we taste it. So, bottoms up. Okay, first off, I would recommend serving this room temperature. Not warm, definitely not warm. That would be pretty grim. But room temperature. You could probably serve this cold, but not like icy cold, maybe just a little bit chilled. But I do feel that like room temperature is probably the best one for this. But yeah, no, it's interesting. What's interesting is it's got a slightly sharper and sort of sweeter finish than the previous two versions, which I find quite interesting, and I didn't really expect that, but generally speaking it is the same drink. It's the same level of bitterness and mellow undertones throughout that I think is really like the main reason as to why this is my favourite bitter. It's just very sort of straightforward. It gets to the point, and it knows what it is. It's just a standard, competently brewed bitter. And yeah, I'd have to say that I do prefer this to the can version. This is definitely much better than the can version. Although the can version again is still pretty good. I feel like having a fresh pint for a lot of different beers though is the best and most rich and honest way of having a drink. And I feel that's probably the same case here as well, but it's still pretty damn good. I think I'm going to say like a 8.25 out of 10 for this. It's a really nice bottled bitter that I'm definitely going to have to go out my way to get again. And I mean, like, I think if I want to have Harvey's Brewery Sussex Best Bitter at home, I'd rather go for the bottles rather than the cans. But again, the can version is still nice enough to have. Probably more so when it's chilled. I felt like the canned one is better when it's chilled. The draft one is better when it's maybe a tiny touch cold, but not much. And then this is probably best room temperature, I think. But yeah, really nicely made. Probably could even go as far up as a 8.35. It is just slightly missing out on being an elite level bitter, this version of Harvey's Best. But I still think that it's well worth going out of your way to try, and it's a really, really nice bitter. Better than pretty much any other mass-produced one I've tried so far. And I've yet to try like a craft one that is as good as this anyway, so yeah. Still, the draft version of this is the best version, but still, excellently brewed. Well recommended. Would recommend for most, if not all, beer drinkers, and hopefully you guys will agree with me. If you didn't, leave your reasons in the comments section below, along with any future suggestions for episodes of Ted's Brew Cellar that you'd like to see. Also, check out my other online activities such as social media and my other YouTube channels in the video description below. Leave a like, share and subscribe if you liked this video, and I will see you guys at the bar next time on the next episode of Ted's Brew Cellar. Drink responsibly, know your limits, and bye bye for now.